Aboriginal peoples have long known that a mix of crops is a really good thing, and there's what's called the three sisters, which is corn, beans, and squash. What I'm holding in my hand here has an incredible amount of life in it. And there are more than 6 billion living organisms in one handful of soil.
Now that's what I call a beet. Hi, I'm Coleen Rajat, and welcome to Vitality Gardening. It's now almost the end of October, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to put your garden to bed before winter. And just off to my left is Audrey Logan, and Audrey helped me plant my first vegetable garden this past spring, and it was a huge success, and thanks for that, Audrey.
Oh, it was fantastic,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was. So today we're going to be heading into the backyard, and Audrey is going to show us what I should do now that it's fall, because I have no idea.
Well, let's get going.
Okay, let's get to work. I'll rake these leaves later. And it's going to be a nice day out.
Perfect day for it.
It is. Okay, so Audrey, what should I do first here?
First thing we got to do is remove the powdery mildew that was on the squash.
Okay.
So that needs to go straight into the dumpster. If you put it in your composter, it'll bring it back for next year.
Okay, well, I'll get right to that. Boy, these tomato plants have been amazing. I got tomatoes out of here all summer, and there's even some more here now. So we can put these in the compost bin?
Yep.
So maybe the compost stuff will pile here?
Okay.
Okay. Make sure I put the mud back in the garden. I love the smell of tomato plants, and they still smell good, even though it's almost the end of October. Now make sure we're not missing. Oh, look at this! There's still tomatoes in here. That's amazing.
Any of the corn stalks that don't have anything on it, we just pull them out. And,
So there's a lot of beans still in there, Audrey.
Oh, definitely. That's why then people say, oh, you got to clear things off. If you would have cleared this off a month and a half ago, you would not have had.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had all these beans.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what better for a final meal than a nice sweet one?
Okay, I'm gonna go put these over by the deck.
Like I said, you might need a bucket because here's some more beans.
Okay.
We'll have quite a few for dinner. Mm-hmm. Like I say, you can even toss them in the freezer. I just toss hot water on them for about 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's what they call blanching.
Yeah.
Then toss them in a freezer bag and
just
in the freezer.
pour boiling water over them, or boil them in a pot?
I don't boil them in a pot. You lose all your nutrition from
Okay.
it. But we call it just blanching, which means just kind of like putting a hot singe to the outer part.
This is scarlet runner beans. So we've picked and eaten some of these, but I'll pick these and...
If they're nice and green, you can probably use them green in that sense too, of cooking them up right away. Or oh, that's a long one.
Okay, now one of our editors on Vitality Gardening, Darren, we went out to his garden and he showed us a huge beet. Well, Darren, take a look at this. This is the largest bean that we've seen on the show this summer.
Audrey says to pull up all the plants and put them in the compost bin.
Right about there.
Whoa.
Just naturally.
The sunroot, or Jerusalem artichoke, was an important food source for our ancestors.
There's your tubers.
The tubers could be dug up in the late fall and early winter. They're low on the glycemic index, so they're a good choice for people with diabetes. And they sure are easy to grow. Look at mine. They grew to more than 8 feet tall.
Yeah, these are the purple carrots.
Mm-hmm.
So the ants didn't get all of them.
Yep.
So you see, putting your garden to bed is very easy, and in case you're wondering why we've left this corn here, we're just leaving it so that some of the kernels turn red after a frost, and there hasn't even been a frost yet.
Exactly, so it'll be a good few weeks yet, but it also hold the leaves that get put around it, because the corn that you're going to be taking off, it will be is just above that leaf height.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you very much, Audrey, for all of your help. And I've learned so much. And I really did think that I wasn't a gardener, or it would be hard or stressful or time consuming. And it wasn't. I spent very little time on maintenance because of the way that Audrey showed us how to plant. There were very few weeds. When it got dry, I added some water, collected rainwater in a rain barrel. And I got lots of stuff out of this very small little plot.
And next year you'll get even more.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I'm going to get back to raking those leaves so that I can put a big thick layer on here.
Okay, great.
Okay, all right.
Audrey has a good idea. Why not ask your neighbors for leaves they don't want? We found some after a brief stroll down the back lane. Remember, you need to put at least a good 12-inch layer of leaves on your garden. Audrey says it will put organic nutrients back into the soil.
Here's another little...
So that's the much faster way there, Audrey.
Yeah.
So I'll take these bags over here.
It's nice to let someone else do the...
Yeah, and you can just dump those
gathering.
right here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice, good feast for our worms.
Okay, and Audrey, the one other thing that I just about forgot is earlier in the summer, you had a really great recommendation on how to expand the garden, and I broke my back and dug up some parts over there, and you said to just lay down the black plastic bags and leave it. So here, I'm taking the plastic off now, and look at that, there was full grass under there, and now there's nothing.
Now it's planting area.
Yep, so for next summer or next spring, it's all, look at that, the grass is totally disappeared.
Totally. Roots and all.
Roots and all, yeah, it's
And
gone.
you don't even have to turn it over, you'll just dump some leaves on it, put the other stuff on, let it be, and
Wow,
the
look
worms will work it over.
Look at that soil, eh?
Yeah. Look at that, not even a hint of any kind of roots or anything.
No. So, Audrey, we're going to put the green stuff on top of these leaves now?
Yep, and that'll
Okay.
keep them from blowing away.
Okay.
So you just lightly on
Oh,
top,
yeah.
you can even spread them out.
Yep.
I just toss like that and it spreads it out so that
Yeah.
way
Okay.
it acts like a little net on top,
Mm-hmm.
just to keep the leaves from floating off. Because sometimes people will complain about, leaves are going to go all over the place.
Oh,
Well,
right.
this stops that.
Weight it down. Well, especially with this baby here.
Yes.
Now, this branch, it's like a pole. That'll weight a lot of things down.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next, could this plant be nature's love potion?
So that's the love medicine.
Welcome back. We're heading out into nature's medicine cabinet. But before we do that, a quick reminder that the information related to traditional plant uses described on this program is in no way to be used or perceived as medical advice. Brenda Gaudry lives in northern Manitoba and gathers wild plants for a living. She's studied how to make medicines from a variety of plants that grow in the Duck Mountain region near Barrows, Manitoba.
I just had a conversation with my mother. She was actually born and raised in the Nelson House, Manitoba. And up to the age of 14, they lived in the bush camp and fishing camps. So she never hardly went into the community, and they were dependent on her grandfather if they did get some kind of an illness, a cold. She said back them days there was not much sickness. They didn't get much sickness, I guess because they were isolated, they were by themselves. They didn't have contact with other people. But she said when they did get a cold, her grandfather would go out and get the plants and medicinals for them to use. This is stinging nettle.
Earlier in our series, Brenda Gaudry showed us how to boil the leaves of a stinging nettle plant to make a hair rinse. The rinse not only adds shine, but it can help prevent hair loss too. Today she's going to talk about another use for this plant, and it has to do with the seeds.
Perfect.
It's another remedy that is very different, but it can also bring a smile to your face.
Before you harvest a stinging nettle, make sure you wear protective clothing, long shirt, gloves, cover all exposed skin. If you do touch the plant, it'll end up burning and stinging and it'll start welting up. So always wear protective clothing when you're harvesting the stinging nettle. I always carry around a band of elastics around my wrist. That's for tying the plants in bundles. Once it's dry, there's no more stinging in the plant. So you could strip this bare hand after it's dry. So after it's dry, I usually just grab the stem and just pull up. Usually all the leaves and the seeds fall off. Another purpose that I heard from some elders, what it's good for, it's called the Indian medicine. And they use just the seeds of the stinging nettle. They'll put a teaspoon into a jam and eat it with bread. So that's the love medicine.
And what does that, what does it do?
Well, it's good for impotency and erection, so because it cleans your blood, it circulates your blood. So, you want me to say that?
Back in Winnipeg, we found a volunteer to sample this love potion. He didn't want to share any personal details, but it seems to have put a spring in his step. Just so you know, Leon didn't actually use this remedy. He says he doesn't need it. But thanks, Leon, for being such a sport.
There's a lot more interest in the past year in heritage varieties.
Well, with the gardening season wrapping up, gardeners actually had time to gather for a seed-saving conference.
My name is Bob Wildfung, and I'm the Executive Director of Seeds of Diversity Canada, which is a national organization that conserves heritage plants and the biodiversity of our food crops. All vegetables are at risk. I can show you a list of about 8,000 different kinds of tomatoes that we could be growing in our gardens. We only grow about 600 of those. So that's less than 10%. Less than 10% of the carrots that exist are actually out there being grown in gardens, and less than 10% of the cauliflower, the broccoli, the watermelon, pretty well everything. The other 90% is held in private collections and seed banks, but it isn't accessible to the people, and that's what we're trying to change. Now, the concern that we have about having fewer varieties is that we rely on the gene pool of plants to be able to react to changes. Okay, if you look at what people ate even 20 years ago, it's different than what we ate today. If you look at the kinds of foods, and not just the kinds of foods, but the varieties of those foods, like the varieties of wheat and the varieties of potatoes, they're different now than they were 20 years ago, and they're very different than they were 50 years ago. Why? Because we've changed our preferences, we've changed technologies, we've changed the way we cook, we've changed the way we ship food, and every time we change something, we need different characteristics in our food to be able to allow us to make that change. If we don't have a great big, broad gene pool, which gives us options for change, then that's going to lock us into very few choices in the future. Things you can do, find heritage vegetables that grow well in your area, and learn how to save some seeds. It's actually really easy to do. You can save the seeds from tomatoes that grow well in Manitoba, and share those seeds with your friends at one of our Seedy Saturdays. You can find out about other varieties of food plants that are being grown in this area, and you can actually create more and better local food by using the varieties that are appropriate for where you are.
Coming up next, my tips and lessons learned as a first-time gardener. Welcome back. This was my backyard before I gardened, and this is after. This is me proudly picking my first beans fresh from the garden. My front yard before I became a gardener, and after. What a difference!
We're gonna go and plant some seeds.
Our garden in the north was a blank slate too until we planted a whole crop of veggies. This is 60 days later. Take a look at that corn.
Look at this raised bed. It's just overflowing with stuff.
Even our little raised garden bed at the Thompson Zoo burst to life after I planted some seeds. Who knew you could grow so much in the far north in such a small space? Now, of course, I had a lot of help and advice. But what things stand out for me? Always put your extra greenery in the compost bin, or...
You just grabbing them.
So what do you feed?
There you go.
Tell us what's coming.
Yeah. That's a great thing about having a garden at a zoo. You got plenty of little friends here to eat up all the extras. Okay, well, let's do it.
Audrey Logan, who helped me plant my back garden, inspired me to learn more about gardening based on her experience and knowledge.
It's done so much in not just physical therapy, and but the mental therapy, not just even the mental thing, but also historically. Once I started researching like all these plants that I grew up thinking came from Europe, actually comes from here. And then I started digging into the past of these plants and the peoples who kept them going for thousands of years. And me as a gardener, I know how difficult it is to keep a certain variety going of a certain type of plant. But how did they do it for thousands of years? You know, and it just gave me more admiration and respect for our ancestors.
So there's like a lot more beans in here too.
Audrey inspired me to plant corn, beans, and squash in the mound system, the way our ancestors did.
I am very pleased about the way all of this went.
I learned that planting in mounds is an effective, low-maintenance approach to gardening. The beans take nitrogen out of the soil and corn puts it back in. The corn also provides a natural support for the beans to climb and grow on.
And now it's going around the corn.
The large squash leaves provide shade and help keep the soil from drying out. Companion planting at its best. But I wanted to know more about this little-known part of our history. So we traveled to Mexico, where corn was domesticated by indigenous peoples thousands of years ago. We also met a Mayan farmer whose ancestors have planted this way for centuries. That really taught me the importance of passing gardening knowledge along to the next generation.
Very spicy. Hot. Very hot.
If the Mayans didn't do this, we wouldn't have corn today.
Do not want to put this in your compost?
I will most definitely be planting in the mound system next spring.
Was it strenuous for you?
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
That's what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, I
That
think
way
I
you've got time to
watered.
go do everything else.
Yeah, I think I watered the garden when it was super hot, maybe every second day for maybe a couple of weeks, like a 2-week period. But other than that, didn't water at all, and we got a lot of rain, and yeah, everything just came up.
I could go on and on, but I will stick to the tips that stand out in my mind. Take this bag of eggshells. Sprinkle them around a plant and they will help keep slugs away.
So Francis, why did you put the fish down first, then some soil?
And let's not forget about a tip I picked up from Francis Hall in northern Manitoba. Fish innards as a natural fertilizer. Just put them deep in the soil so that animals won't be tempted to dig them up. Another thing, don't bother buying your pet a special garden bench. This is the one and only time my cat Duffy used it. The bench is cute, but that's about it. Well, I should sum things up here. My key lessons or tips that I picked up were: get the right tools. Make sure you have digging tools and a watering can. Protect your knees. Always walk or stretch before gardening. Walk for about 5 minutes and gently stretch to warm up the body. Plant what you like to eat. Plant smaller seeds just under the soil, larger seeds a bit deeper. Water after planting and transplanting. A thick layer of mulch is better than a thin one. Natural compost can be found in the forest. Do not remove flowers on a tomato plant. This is actually an emerging tomato. And finally, don't worry too much about your garden. As a first-time gardener, I knew nothing when I planted. I just kept it watered and plucked some weeds now and then, and everything turned out just fine. And I know yours will too. Just one final thought. Our relationship with plants is vital to our survival. So a healthy dose of respect for Mother Earth is something we should all keep in mind.
But I am going to take this home and I am going to cook it up for supper.
We've had a lot of fun here at Vitality Gardening, but we have to say goodbye for now. We're going to leave you with some behind-the-scene moments from this past season. Have a great week and happy gardening.
And I can't wait to sample this. It's supposed to taste like a watermelon. Ow! Duffy! Ow!
Hey Mingus. Hey Duffy. Planting tomatoes.
It's fall, it's time to harvest, and we have a lot of work to do today. And I just walked into a big bunch of tomato things. Look at this! What's his name again?
Hercules.
Pardon me?
Hercules.
Hercules is coming to help plant the garden. Look at Hercules. I brought some tomato plants from Winnipeg, and I brought a pumpkin. You like pumpkins? Come on. Come on. He's saying, who the heck are you and what are you doing here? It's stuck. Okay, so we're in Waboden, Manitoba, which is, start again.
Start again, take two. That's Steve.
Oh, that's a long one.
Okay, here's half the card. So I went out and bought this bug-proof outfit so that I wouldn't be eaten alive this time. And you know what? I didn't need it because it's not so bad.
No.
It's not so bad.
That's because you're getting useful.
Yeah, exactly.